In this video, I want to highlight something to you. I want you to notice something here. When you listen to someone, don't just listen to what they say. And don't just listen to what's not being said. I made a video about that. Sometimes it's important to notice what's not being said. But besides what's being said and what's not being said, look at the direction they're speaking into. Okay, you may not have heard a video like this. Okay, so let me explain what I mean. Let's say that you are a YouTuber like me. You're making videos, you're sharing truth. And then you find this guy telling you that the Vatican owns YouTube, not you. Let's say he's a conspiracy theorist, okay? And he claims that the Vatican runs everything. But look at the direction he's speaking into. YouTube is nothing without its users. If nobody uploaded videos, YouTube would cease to exist. It would be just an empty platform. So it doesn't matter who owns it, it's nothing without its users who voluntarily make use of it. And you need to have volunteers to look at YouTube. So it doesn't matter who the owner is. Without the users, YouTube is just a virtual empty platform. So you being on YouTube, sharing truth, doing your thing, it's a gift, it's a blessing, it's a good thing. So when someone comes by and says the Vatican owns everything and he keeps putting the emphasis on it, I'm just using an example here. What is he doing? He is speaking down on you. Let me explain. Because this individual, even if it's true that the Vatican owns YouTube, if he only puts an emphasis on that and that they control everything, he magnifies the mind control of the Vatican. He's talking down on you. He's making you small. He's indirectly saying that your efforts are useless, that you think you're something, that you're sharing truth, but you're really nothing, that you can only share truth because they allow you to. So it's really a covert accusation when it keeps magnifying the so-called ownership of YouTube by the Vatican. So don't just listen to what someone is saying. Don't even notice only what someone is not saying. In which direction are they speaking? Listen. Often you can notice deception. And this is the number one way in which you can recognize that an evil spirit is using someone. I said it before, but for those that missed it, I'm repeating it here in here and now. Notice the direction someone is speaking into. If someone is filled with the Holy Spirit, they will always speak in the direction of life in abundance. And speaking in the direction of life in abundance implies that the human beings are uplifted for the better. Yes, there is criticism, indeed, but the criticism always works out in a beneficial manner. When someone speaks into a direction that leads to destruction or that leads to the debasement of the human being, then that's not from Christ, that's not from God. Even if you have a YouTuber that claims to follow God, that claims to follow Christ, and they make a lot of videos with Bible verses, and they have a lot of so-called eye-opening messages, listen to the direction they're speaking into. If the direction you're speaking into is not Christ-centered, then watch out when listening to them. Look, when evil spirits use someone, they will push someone into a direction with the aim to get you into that direction, because human beings are mimetic creatures. We imitate one another, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with imitating one another. That's how we form communities. That's how we form social bonds. So evil spirits know this. So because evil spirits know this, they are using this understanding to lead you into destruction. So evil spirits do this. They take an individual, push the individual in a direction, the individual begins to speak in that direction, people hear it and are influenced by it, and before you know it, you have a whole group going into one direction. And if it's an evil spirit that pushed the individual in that direction, that means that their influence will be in that direction. So indirectly, it's evil spirit pushing the people into a direction. And evil spirits will only push you in a direction that's self-destructive. They will never push you into a beneficial direction. So look, even if YouTube is so-called owned by dark forces, those dark forces are very futile. Though the fact that you have many speaking truth on their dark platform. I'm just using an example here. If someone keeps emphasizing that the so-called Illuminati controls everything, yet you're walking around freely, enjoying life, spreading positive energy, then what does that do to that message that the Illuminati controls everything? It nullifies it. So when someone keeps energizing this idea that the shadow government controls everything, they control the world system, that's true, but they don't control everything. They can't control everything. So when someone keeps speaking in a direction of magnifying the shadow government, what are they doing? They're minimizing you. They are conditioning you to surrender. They're discouraging you. Listen, evaluate the direction someone is speaking into. Oh, here's another thing. When some scammer or swindler or some conman comes to you, he will always speak into a direction that will trigger you. If you have a need for human connection because you experience a crisis and you lost certain friends, when a conman notes this, he will speak in the direction of human warmth when he wants to offer you a product. For example, if a conman is offering you some car, he will associate the car with social approval. He will speak in the direction of social approval when he talks about the car. So he may say things like, man, this car is very popular. When you drive this car, man, the ladies going to notice you. The people are going to talk about you. Or maybe doesn't speak in such a manner. Maybe says things like, well, I know a lot of people that drive that car. Man, they have it all going for them. What's going on? He's speaking in the direction of social approval associated with that car. And unconsciously you pick this up. So you're being conditioned to value this car because it may bring you social approval. And because you have this need for social approval, you're triggered into wanting this car. There's a trick con men are using when they want to sell you something that will not be beneficial onto you. When a predator wants to rip you off, he will speak into a direction that will trigger you. Why will it trigger you? Because that direction is associated with your natural needs, your deep needs. As I said before, when predators want to trap you, want to devour you, they first need to trick you. And they trick you by speaking into a direction that will provoke your natural needs. Most people aren't even aware what their natural needs are. They're so into the condition of society, and it's the condition of society that frustrates them. So a con man comes and provokes those natural needs, and you're triggered. You become attached to his product or whatever teaching he's offering. That's how false teachers work. That's how Babylon churches operate. Babylon churches operate by provoking your natural human needs, but they provoke them to trap you. The natural need for safety is used by Babylon churches or by pagan Christianity to trick you into, I would say, relief seeking, to bind you at the local church for the rest of your life. Which means that you will not be active in any other area. So they're really ripping you off, but you think you're gaining something because they provoke your longing for safety. Look, there used to be YouTubers that I used to listen to, but over time I noticed that they spoke in an antichrist direction. They began to speak out of frustration. They began to speak against people's attitudes. They began to talk down on people. They didn't do it, let me say, overtly, by lashing out at people. They didn't even do it covertly by suggesting bad things. They did it by speaking in a direction that led to the debasement of those that wanted to contribute positively to the human population. Don't just pay attention to what someone is saying, or don't just notice what someone is not saying. Look at the direction they're speaking into. I'm telling you, when you can, when you notice the direction people are speaking into, you can see things coming. Someone can be, let me say this, someone can be a psychopath, a serial killer who's about to take out his or her next victim. And because he or she is so filled with murderous passion, without him or her being aware of it, the individual will speak into that direction. And if you're careful enough, you will pick it up. How do you think interrogators at the police station or interrogators at the FBI, how do you think they capture the bad guys? Because they know how to evaluate people's speech. They don't just look at body language. You see, body language, what someone is not saying, those are just a few psychological tricks. Look at the context, because the direction someone speaks into is the context of their attitude. And interrogators are trained to capture someone's context. And then you know when the content that comes out of their mouth does not match their context, you know something is up. Either the individual is confused and they need help, or they are a con man or con woman trying to get something from you or trying to rob you. The context and the content must match one another. If someone speaks in a direction of debasing other people by considering it futile and useless, people are trying to do the right thing, but at the same time they talk about them being on fire for God, then you know that the content being on fire for God, want to reach out to people, does not match the context, the direction you're speaking into, which is debasement of the fellow human beings. Then you know this individual is contradicting himself or herself. Learn to see the direction people are speaking into. Yes, when someone is speaking, you hear it. So it would be more appropriate for me to say, learn to hear the direction people are speaking into. But I say see, because the words can be deceptive, but the context never is. If the context does not match the content, you know something is up. Well, that's it for now. Agree with Christ and be at peace.